Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing one of my most recent trips to the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida, and I am going to talk about the pros and cons of staying at Disney's Beach Club Villas, specifically in a deluxe studio. I hope you find the information I provide informative and help you on your next stay, and I'll see you in the next one. So to give you some context on this stay, as I like to provide all my pros and cons with who was staying in the room, there was just one adult in this room. The room can sleep up to 5 individuals. And with this room, it was 2 nights, Memorial Day and the day after Memorial Day, that I stayed in this room. Now, I'm going to specifically talk about the pros and cons of the room itself, as well as maybe some general pros and cons of staying at Beach Club. But for this video, the room that I stayed in was on the fourth floor of Beach Club. Now, Beach Club is a more unique design to the Disney Vacation Club portfolio, as it is right next to the main building of the beach club, and it is a little bit different color versus the main building, which is more of a blue, and the villas is more like a teal turquoise sea foam green color. Now, I was on the fourth floor and I was actually facing towards the east side, which I had a view of EPCOT, the theme park right next to the Beach Club Villas. Now, as a pro for this room, I would say that it does sleep 5 individuals. There is 3 separate beds. There's the full queen bed, a pull down queen bed, and then a single bed that you can fold underneath the television. Now, with this room, with it sleeping 5, it is a little bit bigger than other villas that only sleep 4, so that is a little nice perk. And with this being on the fourth floor and towards the east side of the room, you don't really have that many people looking into your villa except the cars that are driving by. But for the most part, I was able to go on my balcony and just relax and be able to look out at Spaceship Earth and these soaring buildings, if you had a context of where that is located. Now, for this room, it is really nice because you just are going to go down the stairs and you have access to the boardwalk resort for the dining and food, as well as the theme park of Epcot. That also is part of a con for me, as I was trying to go to bed a little bit earlier one of the nights, and the fireworks did start around 9 to 9:15, and so it does go for about 20-25 minutes, so that is to keep in mind. One thing I do really like about this room is that with the sleeping situation, I was able to put my suitcase on top of a coffee table, and I was able to have a lot more walking space in the room. One of the many cons, unfortunately, that I particularly had in this room was that the twin, because it had just gone over a recent soft goods refurbishment, so replacing the linens, they added a Murphy bed. But one of the cons is the bed that's underneath the television has a little unique mechanism. So to release the bed from the frame, you have to press these 2 wooden buttons. Now, the buttons are on either side of the bed, and you have to press both of them in order to release the bed relatively at the same time so that it will open. But another thing is that with the design of this particular room, that the table is connected to the bed. So when you put down this small bed, you're not having a table in the room per se, unless you want to eat at the couch. So besides, if you were wanting to eat in the room and all the beds are down, there's really only the patio that you're able to eat at. Now, For some people, this is a pro, and some people it's a con. I really did not notice a lot of theming. They did have some pictures on the updated Murphy bed and on the wood art below the television, but it is a very generic looking room when you look at it. So, as a deluxe resort, some people do like that. As Disney Vacation Club members, you do want to see some sort of theming to differentiate it between a regular hotel and the Disney hotel, the theme park hotels. Now, if you go, I am trying to share some video on this room so you can see, but the kitchen is a really nice space. I was able to provide it, but the fridge is just a fridge. It is doesn't have a freezer compartment to it. So there was an issue with wanting to keep stuff frozen. You would just need to bring that in a separate cooler and make sure that it is frozen before you arrive. But besides that, I do like that the sink in the bathroom area is separate from the bathroom, just so that if you have multiple people in the room, they can get ready and you can take a shower. And then I really enjoyed this resort just because everything is really centralized. As you go down the hallways, there is and on the main floor, on the first floor, there is a really nice entrance, and there is a concierge person that is there for most part of the day, and they're able to answer some questions, and you don't have to go all the way to the front desk, which was really nice to have in this section. And as a as of recording this video, that there was not the main pool, so the regular quiet pool was a little bit busier than normal. And I would have to say another con about this room is that when it was raining, that the awning that the hotel has, it doesn't cover the chairs quite as much, so that there was a little bit of water pooling on the patio that I did notice, just for your information, if it was to be storming during your stay. But besides that, if I was to recommend Beach Club, I would recommend it for families who are probably going to Epcot or would partake of the pool offerings when it is open later on in 2025. And for me personally, I would not go specifically to a deluxe studio. I would love to try a one bedroom and see how that layout kind of feels. But from what I can see, I particularly would recommend this room for families who are going to the theme park that is next door, or if you're taking the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios. I did have many issues with the bus transportation to Disney Springs, which I was utilizing both days of my trip, and it was very infrequent trips to Disney Springs. For your information as well, theme park to Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom came a lot more frequently. So if you are going to the theme parks, that is a plus. But keep in mind that for Beach Club, it shares a bus with Boardwalk and Yacht Club. And I don't know if that was just because it was slower time or if that's how it normally was, but it has a lot of stops. Luckily, Beach Club is the second stop off, so and the second stop to be picked up, so you might have a higher chance of getting on that bus before a next one has to come. But I appreciate you staying to the end of this video, and if you do like my content, please like and share this with others, and comment down below if you've stayed at Beach Club Villas, specifically in the Deluxe Studio, and what your opinions are. And thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.